Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Investor Connection. Today, I am talking about why Donald Trump said what he said. If you saw, I posted it. He said that Bitcoin is a scam. He said that he believes Bitcoin is a competitor to the US dollar, which is true. It's true. It's created as a hedge against all government currencies, right? So when you hear about it's a scam from people like that, you really got to start saying, okay, why would they say that, right? So I'm gonna go into all that, but first I want to make sure everybody understand what Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin was pretty much created right after the last um, economic collapse in 2008. Why was that? Why did that happen? They created Bitcoin because a lot of people were screwed out of like their life savings, and a lot of the banks were too big to fail. Remember all that, where the banking industry was able to get away with not doing the right thing by people, right? They pretty much made a system where they took advantage of a lot of people in America, and then when it was time for everyone to be saved, they weren't saved, but the banks were saved, right? So a lot of people lost their money. A lot of people lost a lot of money, their homes, etc. So this group of developers or developer, the genius thing about what these people or this person did was they didn't make themselves public. They nobody knows who invented Bitcoin, and that's a pro and a con, right? Because nobody knows. Okay, it wasn't that person. It has this little bit of you know lack of credibility because of that. But at the same time, can you imagine the person or group of people that created the way to change government control over people through currency? They're going to be in trouble, right? I could give you already an example of one that happened pretty much a few weeks ago. You know, Jack Dorsey, the owner of Twitter, he created a NFT of his first tweet ever, and somebody bought it for $3 million. But this person was in, I believe, Afghanistan or a country like that, and the government put him in jail because he bought it with cryptocurrency, and that's the only way to buy NFTs right now. Well, unless you use something like NBA Top Shots, where you can use actual cash. Most NFTs are bought with cryptocurrency. So in his country, the person who bought it, you're not supposed to even own cryptocurrency. So when they bought, when he bought the tweet for $3 million, I guess they basically had to show. He had. I'm not sure why he ended up showing that he bought it, but whatever the case may be, he got thrown in jail for effect. What they call it? Something government affairs. I guess they were basically saying he was messing with government affairs. I'm not sure what it means, but the idea is in certain countries, they don't even like you holding any cryptocurrency, owning any cryptocurrency, because it goes against control mechanisms that are in place through currency, right? So this person created, or group of people created Bitcoin to operate outside of any government, out of anyone's control, except the people. People can own it, and nobody can stop it because it's open source code. This is money through code. So all you have to do is remember your password and your information, and you can get into your wallet, and you have your control of your own money. You can go into any country, use it, and people don't like that, right? Because that changes what's been working for the governments for many years. But when you look and you see what the hell this financial industry is about, and you see these big, rich, powerful people say, oh, it's bull, it's bull, it's bull, you really got to understand the business of the financial industry, right? You hear me talking about real estate. You understand that business, right? You understand the business of people have to live somewhere. People are going to travel. So there's people like me and other people who say, okay, if people are going to travel, I'm going to own real estate where they travel so I can make money as they do that. So this is what business is, right? Business is creating things around things that people do so you can make money, right? Real estate, understand it. Crypto and the financial industry, it kind of, there's this new form that's being created where they don't control it. But what do people do in the financial industry with stock, even with real estate? People buy high, sell low. That is what the financial industry is about. People making money off the people that buy high and sell when it's low, right? So this is where you see these ups and downs in the stock market, in the crypto market, in the real estate market. Why is that? It's because the rich or richer or the people that understand this have a business around waiting for you to buy high and then sell low so they can buy and make money off of that process. The same way a person buys a restaurant to make money off people that want to eat. These rich, financially set people and companies, they make money off people buying high and selling low. So when they look at crypto and they see this new thing that they don't fully understand how they're going to make money on it and how they can take advantage of most people on it, of course they don't like it, right? So this is why you have to be in this game and start understanding all these things, because if you can understand the business of the financial industry and then use decentralized finance, you can be one of the people that take advantage of that business. It sucks, and this is why I'm making this content, is because if you understand people make money in this industry by letting people buy it high and then letting hoping they sell it when it goes low. Wow, it's raining pretty hard out there. You can be one of the people that benefits from that action that most people make, right? And part of me is trying to make sure people understand that and don't make it, especially our people, because guess who gets taken advantage the most of by systems like this? Us, right? We've been left out of this system, so we don't understand it. So we're the ones that get taken the most advantage of by it, right? So when you look at this, the Trumps of the world, even the Warren Buffetts, a lot of these guys early on were like, "That's bull, it's fake." They're savvy enough to know that this is very hard to compete with, like most innovations. But they can't really control it yet. They don't know how to control it yet. So they're saying, "Oh, it's bull. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. You better watch it." Of course they're going to say that, because they don't know how to take advantage of it. Milan, what do you think about what I'm saying? Any ideas, any questions? Definitely, I want to know, because I know you've pretty much been a crypto native for a while. You're building businesses around it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, people like Donald Trump at this point know that they can't make money from Bitcoin, so they're always going to push it down. But I think the whole world, regardless of what he says, is still going to go towards crypto. Even for my example, I was talking to my accountant, and I was like, well, what's going to happen with, accounting and crypto? And he was like, well, as a business, you have a lot of advantages. I'll be taxed as a business. So that's something that, even the IRS today is trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do for these businesses that are using currencies? So, Bitcoin's here to stay. Unfortunately, it's decentralized. So most of these centralized governments, as they like to control stuff, they can. So they're always going to downplay it. But, maybe they'll have like the GPM coin or something else that can like segue into it, and then they can control that. So.
Yeah, they already made the Chase coin and all that. But yeah, so what Milan is saying is true, that these governments, they just don't, they're gonna figure out how to tax us on it, right? And that's how it works, right? Like at the end of the day, you can use Bitcoin without the government knowing. You can, but it's not easy, and most people are not going to be able to do that because there's always a track to where you bought it, right? So if you buy your Bitcoin on Coinbase, the government knows you bought Bitcoin. So if you take it and put it somewhere and make $1 billion off of it, they could track that the whole way. It is public information, and some people believe right now is the reason Bitcoin is so down right now is not because of Donald Trump saying that. They think it's because the government was able to track down hackers that stole a bunch of money or did some ransomware with the oil company or something like that. So they were able to find them, and they thought that you couldn't do that kind of stuff with Bitcoin and crypto. But as things become more and more sophisticated, people are going to be able to find this stuff. It's less about trying to do things outside of the government's control, but at the same time forcing the government to change. Because look at there's a bunch of South American countries. They just said, look, we're going to be crypto friendly. If you want to be in crypto as a business or as a person, come live here. We're going to be okay with it. So if your countries are not going to be, we are. Why would they do that, right? Because they're going to bring the innovators. The innovators are going to go live in those countries, and they're going to help those countries grow, because the countries that don't want to let them innovate, they're going to leave, right? And then what's going to happen to those countries, right? It's an interesting thing that you see that happens in history, where when people are down, they innovate. But once they get up, they stop innovation, right? So America was that. America literally was created as an innovation, right? Like, hey, you can come to America, you can practice your religion, there's going to be no king, whatever the case. We get to do our own thing. Of course, they, slaughtered Indians and stuff like that to do it. Came to a place where it was already inhabited. But then when it's time to continue innovating, they're like, whoa, we can't have that. We're the top of the world. That's basically what Donald Trump said. He said, look, our currency is number one. So if something competes with our currency, it is something that is against the U.S., right? And I've heard this a lot. You hear this a lot, like the U.S. dominance is based on everybody uses our currency. Our currency is number one. What happens when nobody wants to do that anymore? Does U.S. do we have the same dominance in the world? And I think, of course, it's going to change. It's going to change, right? Like if all these South American countries start saying we're taking Bitcoin and we're cool with Bitcoin, why use the dollar? The dollar goes down in value, and now we're printing up so much of it. Who's to say our dollar doesn't become like some of these countries? Who knows, right? But Bitcoin was literally created to do the opposite. It took everything into account that was wrong about current currency and said, let's make the opposite and make it finite. So there's only going to be a certain amount ever made. Anyone can have it anywhere. Nobody can tell somebody you can or cannot have Bitcoin. All you have to do is be able to put your card into an app and download Bitcoin. Buy some Bitcoin on a Coinbase or Gemini, whatever exchange. There's even Bitcoin ATMs. You can walk up to an ATM, put $20 in the ATM, and you have on a digital wallet Bitcoin. That's how people were doing it before. But now the Coinbases of the world exist, so people can get it that way mostly. But if you think about what I said about the business of finance, literally making money off of people knowing that they're going to buy high and sell low, and the people that make that money just keep tricking us into doing that, and then seeing Bitcoin today go so down because of news again, right? It's kind of like, if you look back, there's a good video you could watch on Netflix. I think it's called like The History of Money or something like that. And it's like a series. And they talk about how the stock market was created. And you know how it was created? It's freaking crazy, man. The idea was created because back in the day, this is nuts. In the newspaper, they had this kind of game where people said they put people's pictures up. And everybody had to send in who they believed was the prettiest person in the picture, right? So people would write in, oh, number 7. I don't even know why they did this, but it was just, I guess, a fun thing. And this guy said, what if we did that with companies, right? But we can make it where they don't write in, they can buy the company, and then we know who's the most popular company. And You know the companies are doing good. You buy into that company. And that's where the stock thing was kind of started. They created the same kind of format of this picture writing thing, but it was created to tell you what companies were most popular, what's the prettiest company. And then they started the stock market around this idea, which is crazy. I never even heard of this to that Netflix special. I gotta find the exact name of it. But think about that, right? Like stock it has almost nothing to do with what happens inside of that company. Neither does crypto. And when you look at these coins, it's the same idea, except if you buy the initial coin offering, that is you're supporting the company. It's just like the stock market is the same way. When they put the first shares out there, if you buy that company gets that money. But after that, all the buying and selling of that stock or coin is just people like I'm saying that have a business around waiting for people to buy high and sell low. Because let's say days like today, I knew Bitcoin was at 65,000. Let's say I'm a businessman that does this. This is my financial business. I'm a trader, or I'm in the business of, whatever with crypto or stock. It was at 60,000, right? Let's say you had it at 60,000. You bought it. You saw it at 62,000. You're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Buy it. It's worth 62,000 right that day. News comes out, Elon Musk, China, energy lies, bam, bam, bam. It goes down to 31,000, half. You're like, I got to get out of this thing, man. This is like, it's going to go to zero. Oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money. You sell it. 31,000. You sold it. So you lost $30,000 or percentage. Let's say you only put $60 and you sold it at 30. Now you lost $30. Right? Now things go back. Oh my God, Bitcoin is the most amazing thing in the world now, because all these companies that waited for it to go to 30,000 started buying it. Now it goes back up to 60,000. They made that 30,000. You lost that 30,000. That's the entire business of the financial industry. That's it. Right there. People that buy and trade stock, that's it. That's how Warren Buffett gets rich. That's how a lot of people that get rich in stock, that's how it happens. These wait for you to buy high and sell low. And they say, oh, this is undervalued, right? When you hear people say, oh, this stock is undervalued, this coin is undervalued, what that means is they know public sentiment will raise that price. Then people will sell it once they bring them back down. And that's when they'll buy it again. So if they know it's underpriced, they know it's going to be built up. So they're going to buy it, let it go up, then wait for people to sell it, come down, buy it. And that's why you see these charts. There's this wave. Every financial thing, you see the same waves. It's that's the idea of it, right? So I just want to make sure people understood that, especially in times like today when it's going down. I see people hit me up like, should I buy? Should I buy? And I'm like, look, this is why this is personal finance, right? Do you believe in Bitcoin? If you don't, I'm not going to tell you to buy it. Like, that's up to you, right? Am I buying it? I could tell you I'm buying it, or I could tell you I'm not. You shouldn't be buying it based on my personal goal and ideas, right? And what I believe in. Do that for yourself. But yes, I am buying, right? Like, I think it's undervalued. I think it's going to go back up past 60,000. So if it's 30,000 right now, what the hell would you sell, right? Like, I mean, it does make sense to do the opposite like they're doing. And that's where I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, this is a business. I can make this another Airbnb. This can be just another chunk of money that works for you and makes you money every day, because these waves, they happen every day. But that's kind of what they call traders, like stock traders. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a stock trader. That's a lifestyle that you got to literally be watching this all day, every day. And just literally, this is what they do. They watch the wave go down, buy it, watch it go up, sell it all day. So imagine doing this with like $10,000 and making $200 every hour doing that. Ends up being a lot of money, right? But it's a lifestyle. One of the downfalls to crypto, though, is that the market doesn't close. So like literally every weekend for like months, me and everybody that deal in crypto, we're like, let's see how this weekend is going to be, because most weekends seem like it goes down. And I have some theories of why that is. I don't know for sure, but I do believe it has to do with people on the weekend needing money and being like, you know what? I'd rather sell some of my Bitcoin and go out or go to whatever, do something, pay for my car, whatever it is. So it's very new, so it's hard to like extrapolate data, but it seems like for the last few months, every weekend it goes down, right? So this weekend, last weekend, weekend before that, people were saying, watch it, it's going to be a big drop. It didn't happen Saturday or Sunday, but it's happening today, which Monday to Tuesday. So again, that you know, Milan, what do you think about like when things go up and down? Do you watch that? Are you into it that deep?
When it's going up and down, I'm not really worried.
So,
because I'm kind of using it more for utility, right? I'm not using it for profit.
oh, you are.
For me, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
So when you
I
say,
actually rather it go down, so I can use it more.
and when you say use it, are you talking about Bitcoin or mostly Ethereum?
Mostly Ethereum. You can't really use anything with Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure, because if you do the borrowing and stuff like I do, you can use the Bitcoin, right? Because you could put that into like an Aave. Because I know a lot of people are hitting me up like, all right, how do I do this bank thing? I'll tell you the websites. Aave.com, AAVE.com. There's a reason I pretty much only pay for 3 coins. Bitcoin, WBTC though, not Bitcoin. I buy wrapped Bitcoin because that allows me to do stuff in Ethereum with Bitcoin. I buy Ethereum, and then I buy Matic. So there's a reason for each one of those, right? For me, Bitcoin is the safest crypto asset. It's the oldest. It's actually the least volatile, which is crazy, but it is, because it's the oldest, has the most history, has the most market cap. The bigger the market cap, the less volatility. And still, even with that, it's pretty volatile, right? But that's why Bitcoin is probably the safest bet in crypto. So I buy a little bit of that, especially when it's down. Ethereum, like Milan just said, Ethereum is like water in the world, right? Like you need it to do anything, right? Like our bodies are made up of it. Everything is about how much water do you have in your body? Are you drinking water, right? Ethereum is just like you have to use it. But what's cool about Matic, and why I mess with Matic, is Matic is a layer on top of Ethereum where it makes doing things more cost effective, right? So if you try to make a transaction on Ethereum, it could cost you, I've seen as low as $5, as high as $600, right? That's a big range. With Matic, it literally takes 10,000 transactions to spend $1. Right. So that's pretty powerful, especially if you're trying to do things, right? So like Milan is into NFTs, I'm into NFTs. You can buy and trade and sell and bid on NFTs and spend a lot less money. I'm also into decentralized finance, which means I can create my own bank. When you hear me talk about creating my own bank, what that means is I have money that sits on exchanges that I can lend out and make interest on it. That's what banks do, right? But I get to control my own bank. Nobody can tell me what I could do with it. I could just say, well, certain websites, right? That like Aave is a website, Compound Finance is a website, but Compound Finance, so far they don't have it on the Polygon network. Aave, they have it on the Polygon, so you could use Matic. And if you do that, they give you free Matic. So super interesting. It's kind of like if Chase gave you the ability to make your own version of Chase, but then for doing that, they give you Chase stock. That's what's happening right now in the world of decentralized finance. And actually, there's a conference coming up called, I think it's DeFi Summit. I'll put the link somewhere, but I think it's next week. I'll be on live again before. But dude, this is the future. And this is why, like, I bring it up and I connect it to the government and everything. And I talk about it with trending topics like what's going on with Trump right now. But the truth is, what we see going down with the government right now, with where the world is going, autonomous, jobs being slowly taken away, you start to think about what are the businesses that will survive if people have less jobs. I think the financial business of what I just told you about riding the ups and downs will still be here. So if you start to understand it, just like with real estate and Airbnb, right? Starting to understand it now, maybe putting yourself in a position where you are in that business now. So as more people travel, which after COVID is not as bad and people are not as worried about it, more people are going to travel. So that's why I'm in that business, right? I look at that and I say, oh, that's going to happen. I want to be in the business of making money around that human activity. I look at cryptocurrency and I see the beginning of probably one of the most used and interacted with things of the future by every human on the planet. Think about this. Anyone can own Bitcoin. Anyone's. Even in countries where it's banned, they're able to own it. Of course, you can get in trouble. But think about that. Can anyone on the planet own a home? No. Can anyone on the planet own a stock? No. Right? Anyone on the planet can own Bitcoin. Right? That is powerful. So imagine if everyone on the planet actually does own some crypto. The value of all of these cryptocurrencies are going to go up tremendously. So again, I'm not creating this content for any other reason than to start putting you down that path, because a day like today, when crypto's going down, it's happening because people like you and me that aren't understanding yet of the system are selling off their Bitcoin because they heard some news and they're scared of it going to zero. Again, why would you think it will go to zero if you really did the research behind what it does and realize, holy crap, like this literally can change a person's life in the poorest place in the world. You can buy Bitcoin, $5 worth of Bitcoin. You don't need to buy a $60,000 Bitcoin, a $30,000 Bitcoin. You could buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. Of course, you're going to pay fees, but still you can own it. And as it grows in value, you benefit from that. So when you think about the inflation idea around currency, every currency has inflation. I got to research why that is, like why do that, but it is the case. I'm not sure why you would build a currency that just goes down in value. I'm not sure why, but there must be a reason, right? So I got to research that. But let's say you have that option. You can either own something that goes down in value or you can own something that goes up in value. Which one are you going to do? Of course, the one that goes up in value, right? So right now, if you have $1 in the bank and you keep that dollar in the bank, every year you're going to be able to use that dollar less. Like, I remember being a kid and you could buy a bunch of candy with $1. Now with $1, you're buying like 3 pieces of candy. You're like, whoa, right? Why is that? That's because of inflation, right? So, but now, if you think about how rich people get rich, they pretty much move their money outside of cash. They move it into things that either keep their value or grow in value. Things like art, real estate, collectible items, I guess, stock, and now crypto. Crypto has, since its creation, has created the largest return on investment out of any asset class in history. Think about that. That is crazy. Like since its inception to now, Bitcoin or crypto overall has created more gain on the money than any other asset class ever. And if you don't understand it, you're going to be like, oh, it's bull. But if you spend the time thinking about it, learning about it, you can start to take advantage of this. It's not going to be 200. Basically, on average, crypto, the entire market has grown 200% a year. The stock market on average grows 8 to 12% a year. That's a big difference. The real estate market, if you buy a piece of real estate, it grows on average, I think about 3 to 8% is high per year. Then you look at stocks. That's why some people don't do real estate. They just do stock because they believe it's a higher interest per year and it's more liquid, right? So there's pros and cons to every asset class. With real estate, The pro is it's a physical location, not going anywhere, God willing. There's no like earth-shattering situations, climate change. You have an asset that's going to be there for many years. It's going to grow very slow in value. It also can give you a monthly income. That's awesome. Pro. Con, if you needed to sell it, you need to find a buyer. Let's say today you wanted to sell your property and have that money in your hand right today. That's not happening, right? So that's the con to real estate that investors don't like about that asset class. Stock is different. Stock, if you needed, let's say you made $100,000 on AMC today and you wanted to have that money in your pocket, you just sell that AMC stock. Somebody else will buy it, because that's what's happening. You're selling your stock to someone else. This is why, again, the buy high, sell low, that business, what did that person that bought the stock do? They bought it at a lower price than you were willing to buy it. They were in the business of waiting for you to want this more than they do at that time. Just like, if you want to travel or you want to live somewhere, you're going to interact with the real estate business. In that scenario, they're going to be able to sell this stock. But there could be a scenario where they're trying to sell the stock and nobody wants to buy it, right? That is a con to stock. Another con to stock is a little more volatile than real estate, right? It can go down percentage too. Then you go to crypto. Same thing as stock, but it has some other benefits. You can use it with decentralized finance. You can create your own bank around it. You could lend it out, receive interest, right? But it's more volatile. The con is more volatile because it's newer. But with volatility brings money-making opportunity, because check this out. With real estate, let's say you buy a property today. In a year, it doesn't go up in value and low in value like that. It's pretty steady growth, right? But very slow. In a year, you may be able to sell it for 3-5% more than you paid for it. Plus, you maybe got some income from that real estate property. With stock, one day AMC could be $30. The next day it could be $50, and somebody's willing to buy it for $50 off of you. You sell it to them, you make $20 off that person, right? That's how it works. Then crypto, one day Bitcoin is 60,000, another day is 30,000. Right? That's a big jump, right? So the people that can take advantage of that difference can make a lot more money, right? So you need to understand these worlds and be in them and try to understand them. To me, the most important two worlds to be in are the real estate world and the crypto world. The stock world, I'm only really going to be in the stock world when I either create companies where I let people invest in them with me and own shares with me. And of course, some may go public, and that can be a benefit to other people too, because you can still ride that same exact wave. But for me right now, I'm more into building companies that have stock than just buying stock. I'd rather try to make as much money on crypto and push it into real estate as possible. That's my current goal. But when you look at people like Donald Trump made most of his money in real estate. He fully doesn't understand Bitcoin yet, because if he did, he'd understand that's the future of real estate, either digitally or physically, right? Like, think about this. If you're going to buy a property and you can borrow the money off yourself instead of a bank, wouldn't you do that? Right? Then also the value of holding that asset is going to grow by leaps and bounds over time as well, right? So you win on both sides. That's why I've even heard people that do real estate say, wow, this is going to change hard money. You know what hard money is? Hard money means when you want to do a real estate project and you either don't have the money or you don't have the credit to get a good deal, you take a high interest rate of the money. So that's called hard money. You have to take more higher risk. So the person that's lending you money is taking higher risk, so they're taking a higher amount of your money back in interest. So hard money in real estate people are saying even that's going to end up going to crypto. So think about all these things that like just keep showing a path straight to the future. And then you hear things like, oh, but the energy, this, and you got to really do the research. What it says is like, do your own research. Is really about looking and making sure you fully understand this to say, I'm not going to be in it. And even me, I watch the good stuff and I watch the bad stuff. I want to hear what people are saying because I know I'm not going to be, swayed out because of information that I know is misinformation. If it's real information, that's another thing. Like I've told you straight up, I'm looking at Matic and I'm worried about what happens to Matic when ETH 2.0 comes out. Why is that? If you're in the crypto space, you may know what I'm talking about. ETH 2.0 is supposed to lower the gas fee. So I just told you one of the major reasons to use Polygon is because the gas fee is less by a lot. What happens if that's not the case anymore? It's much easier to just use Ethereum, right? So of course, as a person who's investing in Matic, I'm like, I need to understand this. I'm not just going to be like, oh, Matic's the greatest thing ever, so I'm just going to hold it forever. I'm doing my own research, right? But then I see things like Mark Cuban invested in Matic. So I'm like, all right, again, because I understand that stock world and what it takes to create companies, when an investor invests in a startup or an idea, they do not expect the money back for an average of 7 to 10 years. So me knowing that, when I see Mark Cuban invest in Matic, I say, okay, somebody smarter than me, richer than me, a huger team than me that gets to kick tires on companies every day, he and his team looked at Matic and said, this is worth investing in for the long term. That to me was a sign to say, all right, I'm keeping Matic, even after Ethereum 2.0. Milan, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think Matic will always be attractive to developers, even if it's not attractive to the retail, consumers, because Matic is focused really on development more than they on coin. So they really want the DApps and the developers to come and use their platform, which you're doing very well. They have partnerships with Unity now.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. For real?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right now when it comes to partnerships, yeah.
That's big.
Twitter. I mean, the last 10 posts, they posted about 10 different partnerships they did in the last 10 days.
I know, it's ridiculous. If you follow Matic on Twitter, it's just like every day, like boom, 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 so many. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like they're doing a hell of a job in partnerships. But what Milan just said, I didn't know this. Is like saw this live. That's huge. You know why that's huge? Think about anybody with kids. I have kids right now. They play video games all day long, right? Remember what I told you about being in the business of making money around things people do. My kids play video games all day long. Most of those video games are made in Unity. And when I told you about the NFT world, I believe there's going to be a lot of money made around people playing games, buying and selling NFTs. So the fact that Unity is like the number one game engine. They make, last time I checked, it was like 80% of all games are made on Unity. So they're using Matic. That means people are going to make NFT games and people are going to make money around buying and selling NFTs in games. That's huge. Why is that? Remember, I just said it again. You can make money around doing things people do. What if you can make money around playing your favorite game? Actual money, not like game money, like where you can buy a bigger sword or whatever. Like actual money that you can use in the real world. That's going to be huge. So the fact that Unity has partnered with Matic, that tells me some crazy stuff is coming. Of course, who knows how long, but the gaming industry moves pretty fast. So that's super interesting, Milan. I'm glad I heard that because I'm going to do some research on that next. See, and that's a stock I bought. As soon as Unity went public, I was like, whoa, that's the number one game engine. Again, I'm not buying a ton of stocks right now, but I know Unity is heading towards the future of what's going to happen, right? So that again proves it. Unity understands decentralized finance connection with games. They partner with Matic. That's pretty big. That's going to grow the value of Unity because everybody who wants to make a game that has NFTs, if The other game engines don't do that, and they're using the platform or protocol that has the cheapest gas fee. Most people are going to use it. This just makes sense, right? You're gonna, if I told you one bank charges you $25 for every transaction, another bank charges you 30 cents, which bank are you going to use, right? So, but the beauty of Matic, I believe, is that it still supports Ethereum. Every time you do a transaction so far, it writes it to the Ethereum blockchain. So it basically supports the Ethereum ecosystem. So by investing in Matic, in a way, you're still investing in Ethereum. So that's why I told you I buy those 3 coins. Bitcoin, because it's the safest, least volatile, probably, maybe last the longest, who knows? Because it does do what it's meant to do well. Then you have the next layer, the next level of that idea, Ethereum, where you could do smart contracts and do all kind of crazy stuff on top of a blockchain, the same type of blockchain that created money, but now it creates this vehicle for businesses and trust to not be a thing that you have to think about. That is that is super important. And then you think about Matic allowing people to make the transactions easy, for very cheap. That's where, for me right now, again, even when prices are going low, I do look at other coins that I've been really eyeing and working on, like understanding more and buying more of them, because I see the wave. So if one day you're looking at a coin and it's 35 cents, let's just say, just keep seeing it at 35 cents. Then you see it at 25 cents. Then you see it at 35 cents. Then you see it at 25 cents. Then you see it at 23 cents when all this stuff is happening. Eventually, you could be like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till it's 23 cents or 25 cents. I'm going to buy it then. And then when it goes to 35 cents, I'll sell some of my money that I made. Let's say you put $1,000 and you made $200 of doing that. You could sell 50 of it, and now you made money. Business, right? Like, you've made money around the system of people buying high and selling low. So this is where, like, I'm going to keep on talking about this stuff. We're going to keep doing the crypto bank, crackingcrypto.club. We're going to keep doing crackingcrypto.club, bringing people in, teaching people how to make their own banks. We're going to keep teaching people how to take some of that profit, put it in real estate at the leisure fund. But I want to make sure you are understanding that this is an opportunity, whether you work with people like me or not. You need to understand these worlds, because it's going to be less and less. I feel like there's going to be less and less opportunities to make money the old way, which was getting up and going to the same job for your whole life. That world is not happening anymore. You see the gig economy happening, where people are jumping in an Uber, making money anytime they want, doing stuff on Fiverr instead of working at a company. They work on Fiverr or Upwork, right? This gig economy thing is going to become more and more popular, and eventually a lot of those things may be automated as well. And that's the scary part. So part of me is trying to, like, educate the public on, okay, there are these things that are going to happen. There's things that are going to be happening all the time. Like mercenaries. Yup, Allison said it. That's pretty much, me and Allison met each other as mercenaries. We literally, not in real life murdering people, but we worked at agencies together. And I was a hired gun. People were like, oh, we need this crazy thing done in no time. I came in to work on it. Allison was my project manager, and that's how we met. And we were like, oh shit, we got this crazy job. We gotta just knock this out. We knocked it out. We became cool. We started working on more and more projects together. Me and Allison met like 10 years ago. This is the world we've been in for 10 years, but now the whole world is in that mode in a way. And it's like, I don't know if everybody's built for that. It's not easy. Me and Allison used to have all kind of conversations about, that's kind of crazy. And that was when I started mass ideation too, where it was like, you know what? I'm not into, if I'm going to be a mercenary and just work at companies, I'd rather have my own company. Right now, Allison too. So this is where I keep saying, you're either entrepreneur or an investor, whether you believe it or not, right? What did I just tell you? You got to think about even this investing thing as an entrepreneur. It's a business. You're looking at when people are buying high and when they're selling low. If you do that right, you can make money just like if you had a restaurant when people want to eat. Same exact idea. You had a property where people want to visit. Same idea. And you could do it from your house. I believe this will be around forever because the richest people in the world, that's how they make money. They make money off of people not understanding that, and they basically extract money from them that way. Because when you buy high and you sell it low and I buy it and it goes back high, I make the money, right? So if you're in that world understanding it as an entrepreneur and an investor, you should be better off than not understanding that you are that. So Christian, I know you just came in. Any questions? I got a 4:00 call, so I'm gonna have to jump. So I want to make sure anybody with any questions asks before I have to roll. Got any question, Christian?
What's up, yo?
What's up, man?
Really, man? I just woke up. Everything's on sale.
Everything's on sale, exactly. That's how you gotta look at it. Everything's on sale, and what you can do, you can go take that somewhere else and sell it for more. So what do you think about crypto in days like today? I guess you said everything's on sale, but do you worry about it going to zero? Are you ever worried about that?
I mean, the way I look at it, I feel like I want to keep going back down because it's going to be an opportunity for everybody that missed the first two waves, like me, for real.
100%.
I don't know. It's a big waiting game. You got to be patient. You got to be patient with this shit, for real. You can't be, I guess you got to move your emotions out of it, right? You can't.
That's a big thing, actually. That's a big thing.
Jump on the boat and expect it to go up. Because, like I said, I've been waiting, just watching this go down and down. Just watch. I don't know. I still think it's gonna keep going down a little bit more, but we'll see.
That's scary to me.
I'm gonna start buying though. I feel like this is a good position to get in at least.
Yeah. This is a good time. This is the thing.
A little bit, but yeah, you go.
Nobody can time it. Nobody knows the true when it's gonna go back up, when it's gonna keep going all the way down. You have to again start understanding these ups and downs. So, like for me, I look at the up and down. I look and I say, Bitcoin is pretty down right now. When you look at the chart and how it's up and down, it's pretty low compared to the history of it. You might as well be buying right now. It could go lower, sure, but it also could go back up. So, of course, that's why I tell people, when people ask me, how much should I put? I'm like, don't put all of it in one shot. Put a little bit at a time because it could go lower and they ain't going to be pissed. Like, I know people that put in a lot of money in one shot, then it goes down, like right now, right? I know people that bought Bitcoin, full Bitcoins, multiple full Bitcoins when it was $62,000. So think about how pissed off they are, right? They're like, oh, I lost half my money. And I keep telling them, no, you didn't. Over time, your money's going to be very, very well grown. All right. If you only invest with money you are scared to lose, you're golden, whether it's up or down. That's true. Like at the end of the day, you don't got to put in your life savings. Put in $20 at a time. You just got to wait and re-up in the dips. Exactly. That's basically what I'm telling you right now. If you just learn that system, put in a little bit. Whenever you start understanding it, you're probably gonna lose money in the beginning because you're just gonna put money in and not really understand it. But as soon as you put money in, you start trying to understand it. So I'm a good amount of time in. I'm not even nowhere near some of these crypto OGs. But now I'm definitely seeing the correlation of all these other things that I've been involved in my whole life. So now I'm seeing the business of owning and trading stock and crypto, right? So all you have to do is look at the charts, start learning how to look at those charts and say, hey, that's pretty low compared to where it used to be. If it ever goes back there, and I believe it will go back there because X, Y, and Z, not just a guess or a gamble, I'm going to put money in now. And I've been telling people since it was 50K, 40K, now it's 30K. I'm like, look, I've been buying slowly the whole way down. I've been telling anybody I advise, anybody I coach, look, don't put all your money in one shot. It could go lower, but it also could go higher. So you got to, personal finance, you got to make that decision. And right now, it's pretty down lower than I've seen it in a long time. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say it's a marathon, really. You got to pace yourself. listen to you guys, listen to everybody on here. That's one of the things, like, I feel like new people need to know. You gotta pace yourself for real. You can't just, throw all your money in at once.
Yeah, pace yourself.
Market every day too, bro.
What you said?
I was saying, you gotta watch the market every day. You gotta fully immerse yourself with the chart every day. Because, like I said, I've just been watching the chart. I started watching the chart every day for the past month, really, because I'm new. So since I didn't have no money in there, I at least watch the chart every day just to get a feel or understanding or just some exposure to it. And now I can really, I don't know, I'm starting to see the rhythm. There's a little rhythm for real. But
it's like surfing, man. Like, you just gotta understand the waves. What are you gonna say, Milan?
No, I was saying it's not gonna be a marathon for long. Eventually these tokenomics, a lot of these products will kick in, and then from that point, it's only gonna be skyrocketing from there. For example, a lot of them that are looking at doing burns are gonna skyrocket because.
So, like, Ethereum is supposed to burn tokens, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are. See, that's the thing. Even with Ethereum, the developer himself said Polygon is gonna be his next solution. They're not really looking at Ethereum 2 as being the top one. They know Polygon's going to be the top one.
So yeah? I didn't see that.
So when they start to burn, you're going to see them, even when every other coin's going down, they're going to still be going up because they're going to go off of the selling and give penalties, which is a bigger difference.
That's interesting. See, that's where, like, this is great information. I wish, more and more people understood this stuff so we could hold up a lot of this stuff, because what happens is, that fear takes a lot of people out, and then these numbers drop heavy. So Allison says mindset has a ton to do with it. That's why it's cool you're adding that. Yeah, pretty much. Mindset is a big part of it. What Allison is talking about is we started this room called Beginner's Mindset, which really teaches you how to, like, be one with your inner self, because anything you do, whether you work a job, you have an entrepreneur goal, or you're an investor, your mindset is, like, so important. So if you don't understand some of these key things, it's much harder for you. So I got a partner who's 82. He's done everything you could possibly do in business, and he's also a Zen Buddhist priest. So if you go to beginnersmindclub.com, you can join that and go. He literally goes on twice a week teaching people how to think for success in life, not just business. Because most people have broke mindset because we just weren't taught. Like, at the end of the day, we were put in this system that we were just the workers. We weren't really made to understand entrepreneurship investing. But now all these tools are right at the tip of our fingertips. We got to start learning them. And, like, I love what you said, Christian, about going in and just reading the chart for a month just to understand it before you put any money in. That's like being on a surfboard and riding the waves for a month and then saying, all right, you know what, I'm going to stand up now and I'm going to try to get this wave. That's pretty much what you did, Christian. That's dope. Monomus, if you have any, I know you got the party hat. If you want to say anything here in Clubhouse, let me know. Any comments, any questions?
Thank you. I appreciate all the information you giving in the group.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where you from?
From France.
Nice. Do you own crypto?
Yeah, but since a few times, since shortly. Recently.
Say it again.
Recently, I started.
Oh, you just started. See, that's fine. You're still early. So that's all good. Glad to see you. Follow the group. Follow the moderators, Christian, Milan, myself. I'll be back on Thursday, and we go on Sundays as well. Same for anybody here watching. I got to jump. I got a call in 3 minutes. Make sure you spend some time. When we talk about looking at the charts, one of the best websites to look at is called tradingview.com. That's the one I use. And I mean, I did the opposite. I started buying first, then I tried to understand the charts. So, but there's no wrong way to start getting information on this stuff and starting to invest and learn, because I believe this is the future. And you guys, thank you for listening and being involved, because we're all going to be better off because we're in early. We are. And I look forward to continuing this ride. Again, join crackingcrypto.club if you want to learn how to make your own bank. Join theleisureFund.com if you want to learn about investing some of this money you're making in real estate. And if you want to get your mind right and start learning some tools to help yourself with any mindset problems you may have, go to beginnersmindclub.com. Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day. I'm jumping to this call. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. You too. Peace.